Hello, everyone. So this is Magnificent Kimmy here. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please comment, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel because I am a small YouTuber and I am trying to grow my YouTube channel. Also, please sign up to my blog by filling your first name, last name, and your email address and clicking the button sign up at the top of my website. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today what we're going to be talking about is mental health within the kingdom of Christ because I actually want to start with saying that I actually had been a huge, well, I don't want to say huge, but I was like a small social media activist for like Black men's rights, LGBTQ rights, a whole bunch of different groups I was an activist for. Like I would like on Facebook and Instagram, like people like I feel like I was like a private account on my Instagram, and I was like maybe I I might have been a private account on my Facebook, but like all my friends knew what I stood for, knew what I stood on, and I stood on people's rights for sure, like different communities and their rights. Um, now being a Christian, I there's some things that have changed in terms of what rights what communities I align with and what communities I don't, and there's nothing wrong with that. Um, so yeah, so with that said, I want to say that I was very huge on mental health. Like I cared about men's mental health and women's mental health, but um, I was mostly like addressing men's mental health and men's this and that because I felt like in society men don't get a fair chance at being understood, especially if you're a Black man, especially if you're well, I want to say yeah, especially if you're a Black man. Um, I feel like Black men aren't understood. Like they're stereotyped, they're discriminated, they're racially profiled, and then if they're not that, they are judged for like they show emotion, any type of vulnerability or weakness. They're judged very heavily. They're called soft and sassy for stupid things, in my opinion. Like for example, if a man likes cooking food, or if a man is like, let's say, a gymnast, he's called soft, or he's called he's 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 insulted for things that don't need to be insulted for it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's insulted for certain hobbies he may have, or he's insulted for his career choice. And to me, it's like doesn't make any sense. But so yeah, that's the reason why I've been I heavily have advocated for men. And it's not to say that women's rights or don't matter, or that women's women are less than because I advocated for men. Like no, that's not it. But we live in a society where women already do have a lot of rights. Women already do have a lot of resources and programs, whereas men, they don't have as much resources and programs as they should have. There's not as much resources and programs and support for them as there should be in this world. Um, so that's why I have before in the past I have heavily advocated for men, and and this is all before I became a mother. When I became a mother, I don't want to say I anything changed in terms of me advocating for men or women, but things changed in terms of me, uh, in terms of me going through things. Like I've been going through a lot, so I haven't really been, advocating or stuff like that. So it has nothing to do with whether it's not really a gender war. It has nothing to do with nobody. It has everything to do with me. But I just want to bring up the mental health because I feel like mental health is taboo, and I feel like mental health, especially within the Kingdom of Christ community, or if you're Christian, I feel like speaking on it and about it is so taboo. Like I feel like the Christian community, and this is not all Christians, this is not all people who are within the Kingdom of Christ, but as a whole generalization, I feel like people who are some people who are within the body of Christ or the kingdom of Christ, they don't want to talk about important issues like mental health, um, self-ideation, self-harm, or uh, suicide or suicidal thoughts. They don't want to talk about that. And I feel like I feel like to me it's very important that we do talk about it and that we do address it, because there is an epidemic with a lot of people struggling with mental health, with a lot of people self-harming, with a lot of people taking their own lives, like outing yourself. There is a lot of this going on, and us not talking about it, it's not going to make that go away, because it's not just people who are like outside of our community. It's people in different communities, and it's people even within our own communities. Like, we have people who are Christians who are struggling with mental health heavily. We have people who are Christians who are struggling with wanting to take themselves out of this world. So we can't just sit by and not talk about it and treat it like it's some taboo topic. Like, no, it's never been taboo. It's just the fact that y'all, it's the fact that society wants to make things taboo. Like the king of this world is the devil. He wants to make it seem like these things are taboo and that these things should not be talked about, but they absolutely need to be talked about. And I'm sorry if I seem like so hysterical or like so hyper, but I'm just really passionate when it comes to things like this, because again, people are actually losing their lives. People are actually taking themselves out, and it's a very sad reality. Like, men are more times as likely to commit suicide than women. And again, this is not me pitting. This is not a gender war. This is not me pitting men against women or women against men. This is just fact. This is factual. Okay, so um, it's just very important to me. I just really hope that we start by addressing mental health. And And I just want to point out that you don't need to be like a therapist, a licensed therapist. Like, it is recommended that you do like seek a therapist. But I also, okay, there's a lot. There's a lot that goes into this. Okay, so firstly, I want to say that you don't need to be a therapist to be able to help someone who has mental health issues. Like, yes, their issues might be above, like, you might not be able to help them with their issues per se, but there are things you can do to show that you support them. Going to a therapy appointment with them, maybe, or hanging out with them, spending time with them, talking to them, giving, like, just making them feel like you care about them and that they feel heard and valued and understood by you. Even if you don't really understand what they're going through, it costs nothing. It costs nothing to sit down and listen to them, to just listen to them vent. Because when it comes to someone being suicidal, or when it comes to someone who's struggling with a mental health issue, it's not really like, how do I explain this? It's not always the fact that we want to see a therapist. It's more so, or that they want to see a therapist. It's more so the fact that they want to be heard. They want to be understood. They want to feel like they're valued and feel like they're considered and feel like they're cared about. And they want to feel the support and love from their friends, from their family, from their support system, from the communities, from their village. And so it's like, you don't need to be a therapist. You don't need to like solve all their problems, because this is kind of also relates to partners in relationships. Sometimes men think that when women are experiencing something in a relationship, when a woman is experiencing something in a relationship, that men are fixers, so I understand that, they're fixers and they want to solve a problem and stuff like that. But sometimes it's just the fact that the woman wants their man to just listen to them and just be there for them and show support and everything like that. So for people with mental health, who are struggling with mental health, it's not that they want you to solve their problems. It's more so that they want you to listen to them and to hear them and to try to sympathize with them and what they're going through. That's all that is. That's it. Like, and then on the other side of seeing a therapist, if they don't have medical insurance, or if they only have a particular medical insurance or health insurance, that, because certain certain places take certain insurances. So certain mental health agencies or mental health organizations, whatever, they only take certain health insurances. So not everybody is it going to be able to afford to go to therapy? Not everybody has health insurance. Everybody should have health insurance, but not everybody has health insurance. Not everybody has the right insurance. And then on top of that, on top of therapy being expensive and everybody not having health insurance to cover therapeutic services or behavioral health services is what they call them. It actually takes time. It takes time to find a great therapist who fits you, who matches you, who you feel like you can connect with, who you feel like you can build a rapport and a bond with. It takes time. Like like for me, like I'm, you know, for some people, they they can find the first therapist they get is the first therapist they need. Like they don't need to go through other therapists. Other people, they have to go through multiple therapists and counselors to find the right one, to find the perfect fit for them. And so, again, what people don't understand is therapy costs and it's expensive. Secondly, you have to find the right therapist who fits you, who understands you, who understands your background. And then the third thing is that most therapists do go to school to get the experience, whatever. Most therapists do go, they go through an extensive program. Like they definitely have to go to graduate school. Definitely have to be licensed and everything like that. But I feel like there's a lot of therapists who are taught, who learn certain things or learn about people from theories, from a class, from a curriculum, from their internships, whatever, versus actually having that hands-on experience, actually having gone through that experience and knowing what it's like for themselves. So if someone has a therapist, like for example, like a person, a therapist may be able to help a person who let's say struggling with anxiety, and they may have taken like a class on that, or like a mental health class on that, to be able to know how to help them. Or they may have had worked with a client before during an internship to be able to know what to do, versus someone who's going through postpartum, where you have a mother who's going through postpartum, or who's having trouble, I don't know, having some type of trouble in life, whatever, I don't know. Let's say having trouble with a divorce. And let's say the therapist has a child, has been through postpartum, and has also experienced a divorce. On top of that experience, she also has school, like she's also, so besides her own personal experience, she also has like the school-based experience. So she not only has school-based experience, she also has her personal experience. So some therapists who have both of those experiences will most likely be able to help more clients because of their own experiences. So, for some people, I want to say for most people who have deep-rooted trauma and everything like that, and have gone through like painful relationships or painful times in life, it's better for them to have a therapist who has already experienced that in their own lives, and to be able to connect it back to them. Because when you've experienced something your client experiences, again, you're more able and more likely to be able to help your client because of what you've gone through yourself. So you can relate to them. You can you'll be able to build a better bond with them because you already had that experience. And so, this is what some people don't understand. Therapy is expensive. You have to find the right therapist, and you also have to find someone. I mean, this is not for everyone, but I feel like for most people, you need to find someone who is a therapist and who also has had their own personal experience with what you're going through and what you've gone through. But yeah, I just feel like, this community needs to talk about, we need to address mental health more, because again, this is something that's not going away, and this is something that is very real. And I don't know. I don't know if this is already implemented within the church, but I feel like we need to have like more mental health support groups in the church for people who are struggling with mental health challenges, mental health related problems and struggles, because again, mental health is very real. And this is actually one of the ways that the devil attacks us. He attacks us through our mind, through our mental. And so if the devil attacks our mental state, why don't we have mental health programs in the church? Why are there not mental health support groups in the church? And as a pastor, as a preacher, that the devil starts with attacking your thoughts and your mind. So, I just pray that this is implemented more within the church. I just feel like there needs to be more mental health programs that, again, that's implemented from the church. I don't know how much money that's going to cost, and I don't know what's going to take, but as a community, we definitely need to do better. And I feel like I'm not saying we're not doing good as a community, but again, I feel like in a sense, mental health is a taboo topic. Like, I don't know. And I'm not saying no pastor talks about this, because I'm pretty sure there are pastors who talk about this within the sermons and everything. But again, we have to continue to address this because this is not going away. And besides addressing it, we actually have to implement government programs that, are going to benefit the people and that are actually going to help the people, and not programs that are there just so the government can make a buck or whatever off of people's pain and vulnerability and stuff like that. Like, that's not it. That's just not it. But yeah, I just want to talk about this because it's really, really important to me. Like, it's so important. And so, again, I just pray that, the more that it's talked about, the more that it's addressed, the more that we can, start doing more than just talking, just more like on top of talking and addressing it, also doing, taking action and doing something. So yeah, this is all I wanted to say. Thank you so much, guys. I pray that you like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please sign up to my blog. Thank you so much for watching, and tune in for my next video. I'm not sure what my next video will be on yet, but definitely tune in for it. Thank you so much, and I pray you guys have a great day. Bye.